What is up, y'all? Life coach in the building. Take a ride with me today as I share my thoughts on the untimely passing of Ananda Lewis. If you're not familiar with who she was a TV show host, host of Teen Summit, actually, back in the day when I was young. I'm not a kid anymore. Anyway, I'm actually getting ready to go chaperone a field trip for my kids. So I'm going to share my thoughts as I travel that way. So buckle up and let's ride. Hey, y'all. Good morning. I am on my way to chaperone a field trip. I've been trying to film this video for the longest. Any video for that matter. But definitely wanted to talk about this because people tend to pick up on whatever trending news interests them. And for me, this kind of, made me take a step back and say, So talking about Ananda Lewis, who passed away from breast cancer, and the circumstances surrounding her death, regarding the treatment that she chose, the treatment that she declined, and how that ended up. I grew up watching Ananda on Teen Summit after school. Very, very popular TV show hosts, I had no idea within these past few years that she had been dealing with breast cancer, but she ultimately decided to forego the traditional treatment and the traditional chemotherapy and go with non-traditional treatments. This video isn't about that because I'm not familiar with all the other things that are possible to treat breast cancer, but I will say that she missed a few mammograms in the beginning. Just, some people just don't like to have that preventive imaging done because they feel like if you find something, it's going to drastically change their lives, which is true. But at the end of the day, if you don't know, you can't treat. And not knocking her for her decision because, of course, it's hers. But I just want to stress the importance of getting mammograms because I've had three or four. And one of them, I had to have some further imaging done. So the first one was all good. It was nice. And the second one came back, and let me back up and say that they usually come back. At least my first mammogram came back within a day and was like, you're all good, nothing to worry about, see you in a year. Well, the second one didn't come back like that. The second one took 3 days to come back. And I'm like, well, this is interesting because just in case you don't know, they keep them on file so they can compare from one year to the next. So they'll look at the year prior and then look at the most current one you just had done to see if they see any differences, is my understanding. And when that second mammogram came back, I had a diagnosis of 5 separate masses. And I was terrified. I got my notification on an app where it just automatically filters your results, which can be a blessing and a curse, right? On one hand, you want to know what your results are. But on the other hand, if it's something that is undesirable, well, now here you are stuck with a diagnosis that you can't really do anything about because they send you that information before your doctor gets that information. So here I am with a diagnosis of 5 masses, 1 in one breast and 4 in the other. And I had no clue what they were, and neither did the people who were looking at the initial scans. So I had to go back and have a diagnostic mammogram done, an ultrasound, and a biopsy, all at the same time. But they were scheduling them out so far that I called before my doctor even got the results. I called to schedule my own stuff based on what I had seen. And the people were nice. They went ahead and scheduled it for me, but they scheduled it so far out that I was like, this isn't going to work. So I called back in a few days to see if they had any cancellations, and they did. And within, I would say, probably about a week, I was in to get my additional scans. And it ended up being that I had 4 cysts, which isn't uncommon, and one that was slightly suspicious. It was a mix of like kind of solid fibrous tissue. Later on, we would figure out was just something benign. There were no blood vessels growing through it, which, if you don't know, that means there was nothing going to it, like no nutrients. My body wasn't feeding whatever it was. If it has a blood supply, that's usually not good, because that means it's using the nutrients from the blood to grow and, do all the bad things we don't want cancer doing. So I was thankful for that, but I was shook after that diagnostic mammogram. So I skipped the next year, which I shouldn't have done, knowing in my head, I'm like, it's getting to me. Like, I'm going to just go ahead and skip this. I'm going to pray about it. And then I thought about it. I'm like, for me, I want to be here. I want to be here for my kids. I love life too. I love life. I love, traveling, laughing, fellowshipping, all that stuff. But I really need to be here to raise my children. So whatever I can do in my power to stay is what I'm going to do. Now, I don't have the final say so, and I do understand that. However, I don't want to be a contributing factor in that. I don't want to leave my children for somebody else to raise, and for this world to eat them alive without my guidance, because y'all know what kind of world we living in. Anyway, that's pretty much my story. So I went back and had another mammogram after that. I just wanted to spread awareness that preventive care is key. Go, because early detection, it's cliche, and it is, but it's a tagline, but it's one of those taglines that you ingrain in your brain. And when you start to feel that doubt, like you don't want to go because you don't want, no, early detection saves lives. Get in there, let them mash them down and turn them around and whatever they got to do to get whatever pictures they need to see, get your report, and then you move forward with whatever your results end up being. So I just think it's unfortunate for her son that, he's now without his mom. We advocate for people to make choices for their own bodies. I'm definitely an advocate of that. But I'm a researcher by training. And so I believe science, and I believe research. I believe in the power of bench work. I believe in targeted cell therapy. I just believe the science because I've seen it work time and time again. I believe in off-label use of things that have been proven to work. I'm in it, elbow deep. So I believe in work that's being done. I believe in cancer research, all of that. So it's one of those hard things to deal with, because you don't ever want to crucify somebody for doing what they feel is right for their own bodies. But as a mom, there's a part of me that's kind of like, well, what about the consideration for the children that you birthed and brought into the world? I did watch a couple of interviews after she passed, and I was picking up on some regret. Even one interview where she was kind of like, maybe that wasn't the smartest thing, you know? So I kind of feel like she may have known that her decision in the end was not the best. But that's the thing about cancer. It does not care. It knows no bounds. Cancer knows no rules. It makes up rules as it goes along. Even with all the studies and stuff that have been done this far, you just do not know. You can go by the typical presentation of a tumor, but you just never know what the tumor is going to do, where it's going to invade, which is why people have to do these scans every so often. How it's going to mutate? Is it going to sit in your body and be a good little cancer for right now, and then something sets it off, and then there's a mutation somewhere and it just takes off like wildfire? You just never know. So at the end of the day, I feel like it's my duty. I don't even know how long that's been covered. I hope y'all can hear me. At the end of the day, I just feel like it's my duty to do what I can to make sure that I stay in the best health. I just feel like I owe it to my kids to be here. I just do. And you know, that's on me. So I control what I can control, and then just leave the rest up to Almighty God. So